Toy Sensation. I'm your host, Dan, and in this episode, I am going to be looking at some of Jim Rugg's fanzines that he sells. Now, these are not fanzines in the traditional sense in that he's not writing anything. They're more like scrapbooks or collages of found stuff that he was interested in. They kind of remind me more of his sketchbooks and stuff that he sells. Luckily, he and I like many of the same kind of things. So these to me are great. He prints them on really nice paper. They look really good. You know, if you become a patron of his on Patreon, you can, I forget what level it's at. You can download these and print them off on your own printer. I've been a Patreon member for a while with Jim's. I'm not currently. Don't tell him, but I am doing some other people I shift around. I think Jim and Ed are probably doing pretty good for themselves. But I didn't have a way to print them off. So, and I like when he, whatever printer I use, it's not going to be as good as what he's printing, the way he's printing this stuff up. I really like it. I'm just going to jump through these real fast. This one is like I said, it's like a scrapbook of a lot of the 80s black and white comics that he's so fond of talking about, that he calls outlaw comics. He doesn't identify the comics on the pages that he's reprinting stuff from, but they are all on the inside cover. I am familiar with almost all the books in here, so I know which ones are from. If you're not, maybe I guess you have to do Google search for it. And there's a couple I don't know, but I imagine through the process of elimination, because I know the ones that I know, that I could figure out what the other ones are. Like I said, he's not providing any context or anything, except that they're, there's stuff like Faust here, who they talk about on the channel, the Cartoonist Kayfabe, all the time. There's a couple of superhero ones which I'm not as fond of as Jim is, but there's some. Oh my God, the New York City Outlaws, one of the all-time greats, Ken Landgraf. Floating World is gonna have they and Power Comics are joining together to reissue the New York City Outlaws. Probably won't be out till early next year, 2024. But I mean, that's definitely one to for the longest time you could find these things in dollar bins or cheaper. But lately, thanks to Jim and the Cartoonist Kayfabe and the Power Comics channel and a few other places, they're getting a little pricier now and harder to find. This is nice reproduction of these things. Super bitch. Oh, I love this part too, with the naked girl. Paul Galassi, I think that's how you say his name. He's pretty professional. This was an independent published comic, but I don't know. That's kind of cheating, I think. And more Landgraf. And this is by the guy who did Demolog. Demolog, is that how you say it? The name of this one's like Rawl or something. I don't know. He's only got 2 books that were translated. I think he's Dutch or something. I can't remember now. Darn it. The Demolog has come out twice with 2 different covers. I finally saw the second cover, and Jason Hamlin was kind enough to let me peek inside it, and I saw that it is in fact the same comic. So if you get one Demolog translated into English, you've got it all. The other one's just a different cover. like I said, this is his other book. He will talk about how much he loves to see these starscapes. I don't. So Jim's really letting this freak flag fly here. This is I love to see this. John Jacobs. This is art by Jacobs and Landgraf. Now, when everyone sees this, they go Landgraf. But honestly, it's because his inks are so strong that it does look exactly like his stuff. But I was talking to him, and he said that he got layouts and there's drawings. He really is mostly just inking this stuff supposedly. And so there's a lot of John Jacobson here. This Dr. Peculiar. The Madison comics. Some of my favorite comics of all time. I'm really, really hoping that Floating World and Power Comics would get to them. If not for John Jacobs' weird stuff, then because Landgraf, his art should be able to sell it. Here's Damlog, Berserker. That's funny stuff. Julie Winsome, Medical Detective. That's from the I don't think, what's the other, the Frontier one from Madison Comics. Look for more of me in Dungeon of Terror #1. And yeah, unfortunately that never happened. Oh, you know why? You know what else they should be doing because of the Dr. Peculiar angle? Is Dan Klaus, and I forget who the other, he worked with another artist. I don't remember who. I heard that they did a comic, a homage to John Jacobs that's never been published. Wouldn't that be a selling point to collect John Jacobs' art in one package? And if you could convince Klaus to let you print that too, man, that'd be great. So anyway, you get the idea on that. So a nice look at that stuff, those crazy outlaw independents. This one is his newest one. He's going under the hypothesis that 1986 was the most important year in comics, certainly at least in his lifetime. Here's just some of the many comics that were released in 1986 and books. There's Manga, the World of Japanese Comics, which was so crazy important for people who are getting into, there very few manga had been translated into English at this point. And this book really opened people's eyes to what else was out there and whet people's appetites and said, hey, where do you go? What's next? You see Jontar there, Crumb's Weirdo, all kinds of great stuff. He's not wrong about how great this is. Again, he's not writing essays like you might find in other fanzines. He's just taking pages. A lot of these are advertisements or columns talking about this. Here's an ad for the Batman Year One that was coming out. There's an ad for the Watchmen. More shots of the universe. A kitchen sink ad with some of the stuff they were putting out, including Harvey Kurtzman's Jungle Book. The Spirit was being reprinted. Steve Canyon, although that had been going for a while. I think both these might have been going for a while. They were ongoing concerns. Death Rattle, a great compilation. Just all kinds of great stuff. An interview about the Dark Knight coming up. Here's a page of Dave Stevens' cover art. He didn't do, some of these he did work inside them, but a lot of this is just cover stuff he did. There's a little thing. Cannibal Romance, one of the best horror anthologies. It's a sick humor horror anthology, but absolutely tremendous book. You know, just, I said I wasn't going to go through it, each and everything in here. First Kingdom. This was originally a magazine. I bought this. I had been reading underground comics. What happened was somehow a kid at school had bought the first issue of National Lampoon while we were on a field trip. They had National Lampoon on the newsstand where we're at, out in front of the museum, and he picked it up because it had bare breasts in it. And I was interested because it had comics in it, parody comics. And it was a really weird thing. So then I started looking for it. And then once I was buying National Lampoon, you could send away for underground comics through ads in the National Lampoon. And I started getting underground comics when I was like 11, 12. Eventually, my stepfather found my National Lampoons and my underground comics had been hiding. He confiscated them and tossed them out. You know, it was all well and good for him to have skin magazines laying around the house, but God forbid I should be looking at cool underground comics and National Lampoon and stuff. But anyway, I was buying the Marvel, the Marvel colorized version of Akira as it was coming out. Here's a column, you know, from from what this is. I guess this is the Wizard magazine. Is that where that? No, Amazing Hero. Sorry, it says right here on it. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in here, and then everything else on here is parodies that are trying to ride the coattails of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. He managed to fit another page of Damlog in here. I don't mind that. I love that. You know, it's my understanding that this guy had a lot of stuff printed in his home country. And does it say here? Dang, I wish I could remember what country he's from. But that he's got a lot of stuff, and it just hasn't been translated to English. Man, get some more of this stuff going there, okay? Silver Wolf they published a ton of comics in a very short time. I like some of them. I like their dumber comics better. Some of them are just like, they're borderline good enough that they could almost be like, you know, mainstream comics, and they're kind of boring, quite frankly. But there's some really bizarre comics you can look for. If you see Silver Wolf there, stop and take a gander. You might find something really good. I love the Big Baby. I did a video. There's a video I have of me reading through Big Baby. Fantastic little short book by Charles Burns. Yeah, I don't know if that's available right now, but I have 2 different versions of it that came out. Anyway, so like I said, I think he did this collage of comic book covers. So that's about. I've gone about. Here's the halfway mark. There's his beloved Savage Dragon with his original very, very small top fin on his head. I'll leave the rest of it up to you. I don't want to spoil the whole mag. These 2 are ones that Jim has recently reprinted. Go to his website, look for these, and his True Crime. You know, I don't know if I did a video on his detective one. I think, what is this called? True Crime? I have it over there somewhere. Anyway, yeah, definitely worth looking into. You know, if you're expecting essays and stuff and him adding his own context to this, you know, that's not what this is. But they are a great collage look at the 80s between the 2 of them. They're a fantastic overview of it. Have a good one.